Hey everybody, happy Tuesday, happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month, happy all the things. I'm Dawn Church, I'm Works Month's events manager, and of course we have the fabulous Marissa Wayman with us because I could never do this myself. So, all right, so today we have another episode in the Cybersecurity Awareness Month video series, and week one of the whole series is dedicated to the scariest threats on the internet. And then the next week, we're going to focus on the zombies on the internet, which is us, because as humans, as people who are using computers all day, every day, we have a tendency to just click on whatever appears in front of us, like a zombie would. And our behavior as humans is actually the #1 risk factor for any small business when it comes to cybersecurity. So with that, and in the following weeks, we'll share a lot of best practices for keeping your organization secure. But today, we're going to focus on the internet. And unfortunately, the internet is full of creepy crawlies. So one of those creepy crawlies is like picking up a computer virus while browsing on an infected website. So what starts out as something really small, like one teeny tiny little cockroach in your house, which in my opinion is never okay. But it can spread into a much bigger infestation that gets into everything and is really harmful and can destroy data and slows down your system. It can actually even log what you're typing. So it's super creepy.
Yeah, and that's just an important reminder about malware in general. So malware is any type of malicious program or code, basically software, malicious mal, software where. It's designed to harm systems. The cyber attackers develop these programs so they can gain access, they can cause damage. And what makes them really creepy is that malware is often difficult to detect, and devices can be infected without users ever knowing.
Yeah, so that's the thing that's just mind-boggling to me and really scary, right? So not so fun fact, it actually takes an average of 279 days to identify and contain a breach. And that statistic was correct as of 2019. So this is relevant. This is stuff that's actually happening. So much like the real world, there's more than one way to let the creepy crawly disgusting creatures in to infest our technology. So Marissa, what are some of the ways that we can get infested with malware?
Well, right off the bat, I'm going to say that most rely on some kind of user action. Some malware is spread via email with a bad link or an executable file. Executable files are types of files that they run programs when they're open, so you can see why we want to be a suspect of that. Other ways to get infested starts with social media or as you browse the internet. The key to keeping your organization safe is to be aware of all of these vulnerabilities so you can build effective defenses. We talked more in depth about email attacks like phishing and how they use their tricks from the wicked witches of the web in order to compromise your systems. In another episode in the future, we're going to talk about everything you need to know about ransomware. Other types of malware that are worth noting about, we've got exploit kits. These are, they scan your system to find any type of hole or vulnerability in the software that it's running. And once they find those holes, then they inject malware into your system so that it spreads the malintent. Then similarly, with malvertising, you can get these bugs just by clicking on an infected ad on a legitimate website. Some of these ads actually use something called a drive-by download, which doesn't require any action from you. It just needs the ad to load. Like you said, Dawn, keyloggers will record your keystrokes as you're typing so that they can collect that information, most commonly things like passwords or maybe payment information. And then most ironically of all, spyware actually spies on you. It's malware that watches what you're doing so that it can report back home. Lots of creepy, crawly things.
Yeah, super creepy and crawly. And unfortunately, as we already mentioned, they can be really hard to detect. But there are some signs that you should be aware of as a computer user to be on the lookout for. So, number one, if your computer slows down or freezes a lot or crashes frequently, kind of all of a sudden, that's a warning sign that there's something wrong. So number two is if you're getting a large number of pop-up ads, especially nowadays, pop-up ads are not super common. So if you're getting any at all, if you're getting a lot of them, that's a big problem. That's a big sign that there's something wrong. So number three, if your computer's hard drive just kind of suddenly ran out of space, that's a problem that all of a sudden you've downloaded something pretty large, and chances are it might have been malware. So number four, if your homepage changed without you doing it, that's a sign of a problem. So for example, let's say that your browser, when you open up a new browser on your computer, it usually lands on Google or Bing, whatever you have consciously set it to land on. And then suddenly the next day, maybe it's taking you to a different website like CNN or Yahoo or any random something or other. Some sort of change happened in your browser and you didn't make that change. So anytime there's a change and you didn't make it, that's a sign that there's a problem, which leads me to number five. Are there new unfamiliar icons on your desktop? If that's the case and you did not intentionally put those there, that could be a sign that there's a problem. So, as with any infestation, pest control is available, and it just takes a little bit of planning. So the key is to close any openings ahead of time that will let anything unintended in, and then also to know how to report and how to respond to an attack. And if you're our client, I'm gonna say who you're gonna call. You're gonna call us. You're malware busters. So on that note, Marissa, what are some things, some easy wins that our clients can do to protect themselves against a malware infestation?
Well, like you said, as a managed service provider, we're your exterminator on staff. But more generally, the advice that we give revolves around kind of three pinnacles. Remember that when I said exploit kits look for vulnerabilities, close those vulnerabilities by keeping your software up to date. Patch the vulnerabilities in common software, including your browser. Maintain the support and the maintenance licensing on all your software so that you continue to have access to updates as they're released. Also, don't run unsupported versions of software. Kind of goes along in that same premise. The next kind of big pillar is end user awareness, because if they know what to look out for, they can help contribute to avoiding scams and putting yourself in a dangerous position. And then the last piece of advice is just a good way to reset if something were to get infested. It's like deciding that you're just going to buy a new house. Backup regularly so that you can reset easily.
Yeah, so that's it for malware. It's creepy, it's crawly, it's obnoxious, it happens, and when it does happen, there are things that you can do to rectify the situation. So with that, that's it for today. We hope to see you again tomorrow. Have an awesome Tuesday.